Coma. Really? There's a squirrel right there. He could not care less. He doesn't care. What? Well, now that the show is set and they're gonna have their opening, you can't go and you can't steal any other artwork. In case you were thinking about it. They're gonna be under a lot better watch now that that artwork was stolen. The show goes on upstairs too. And I'm kind of upset about it, honestly, because, you know, the teachers, we can present whatever artwork we want. Our professors kind of do an initial review of it and look over stuff and be like, oh no, this definitely isn't good enough, or this isn't what they'll be looking for, so we're just not going to, we're going to advise the student to not even try and enter. But so, the judging happens, and this year kind of pissed me off with the judging, for multiple reasons. So they do the judging with several of the art professors and the curator of the gallery, who, as I understand, is a professor for St. Philip's in San Antonio. But as curator and gallery work goes, it's not even necessarily that it's good artwork, but that it's what the curator likes. So yes, they were voting on it, and the teachers had their say of what could get in, but in all honesty, it was the curator's final decision what could be in the gallery and what couldn't. And so I had done some freaking outstanding pieces, which I don't have pictures of yet, but I will post pictures to on one of the websites eventually. I was going to start doing photographs of my portfolio work this weekend, hopefully, unless it's raining. But so, one of the pieces I had done was this really, really intricate rib cage, fairly anatomically correct. It was a little wonky, but I mean, so goes anything. It was a fairly anatomically correct. It had all the right number of ribs and vertebra. I counted, I made sure, because I'm into that shit. It was wire. It had several different gauges of wire. I'll take a picture of it. But it was a really interesting piece, and that's coming from my art professor. He was pushing for it really hard, but the curator just didn't even look at it. He didn't care about the craftsmanship. He took one look at it. It was like, I have seen too much wire work. I don't care about wire. It's overplayed, which really upset me. I wasn't there for the judging. This is all coming from what my professor said about the judging process, because he was one of the judges. And they kind of looked at it and was just like, oh, wire, I'm not into it. And then they were done with that. And then the other piece that I wanted to submit was these laminated pieces of, well, they were skulls, but like laminated pieces of cardboard and the foam core board. Ooh. Google car. That's the first time I've ever seen a Google Maps car. Okay, anyway, back to my artwork, right? So I had spent so much time working on this piece. The final one was a full 3D, and what I mean by laminated is I was working out from the center laterally. So I had started with the very center cross-section of the skull, and I was working it out to the jawbones and cheekbones using just cut pieces of the cardboard or foam core and then gluing them together and making a 3D shape. I haven't done anything like it before. It was really interesting. And so I had, basically the cardboard was the template for the final foam core piece. So I think I called it Processed Evolution because it was supposed to basically celebrate the process that I had taken in creating it, not so much the finished piece. Okay, so the foam core was held together with glue. The cardboard is held together with just blue painter's tape. And apparently they had this huge fucking deal with the blue painter's tape. They just could not stand it. So much so that they didn't want the piece that was about process, that was celebrating, you know, this was the template, and it's just loosely held together to create a shape, and this is the finished product right here. Enjoy them together and what they, like the feeling that they create together. Now, they couldn't stand the blue painter's tape, and that's what completely put them off from my piece. I was just like, freaking, like, really? But then there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on too. And this is one of the things about the judging that pissed me off the most, I think, was that, you know, they had done their judging and everything, and they had decided what they wanted, what they all agreed on. But then the teachers, and my professor was guilty of this also, professors just kind of started putting stuff out in the gallery that they hadn't ever judged, and was just like, oh, let's see what the curator says about it. And pieces that had been submitted, just put out in the gallery after the deadline, after the judging had already taken place, got in the show. And let me tell you, there was some crap out there. There was some absolute freaking crap. I'm assuming some of it has changed now that they've all settled down and finished putting stuff in, and it is the opening. Stuff must have changed. But there's still, just like briefly walking through the gallery, there is still some just absolute freaking shit out there. I mean, that happens all the time. It's up to the curator and everything, what he wants in his gallery, what he's looking for. I think you're missing something there, dude. Might want to go get that checked out. I wonder if he knows. Do you think he knows?